H-Town, hold it down. Welcome into Texans Today. I am Will Scott. We're breaking down the latest Houston Texans news and rumors on today's show. But before we get into today's show, just a reminder to subscribe. We're trying to reach a milestone here on Texans Today. We need a little under 400 more subs to get to 4,000. That's a big milestone for us. We just relaunched the channel a few weeks back, so be sure to subscribe if you want more free Houston Texans coverage. Just hit that subscribe link below. Now let's talk about this Bleacher Report article that outlined one move that every NFL team should make before the start of training camp. Here's what they said the Texans should do. That is get rid of Christian Kirksey. Nobody on the team played more snaps than Christian Kirksey last season. However, the Texans added Denzel Perryman and recently drafted Henry To'oTo'o. If the Texans release Kirksey, they can save $5.25 million, and he can find a more favorable path to playing time elsewhere. Taking a look at the Texans' current linebacker depth chart, you do add Henry To'oTo'o to that room. It's going to be interesting to see the role that he plays in his rookie season. I thought he was a steal in the 5th round. You have Denzel Perryman. Christian Harris is a good young player on this team. But still, I would not get rid of Christian Kirksey. He had a pretty productive year for you last year. And look, it's win now time for the Texans. I'm not saying win as in be a contender. I'm saying win as in get better. You need to have a good season this year. And getting rid of a player like Kirksey, I do not think that makes you a better football team. Taking a look at the numbers from this past season, 124 tackles, 5 pass breakups, 7 quarterback hits, 3 sacks. He had a good season. He can be a good role player for you on this defense, even with some of the moves that you made this offseason. Should the Texans cut Christian Kirksey? Type C for cut or type D for don't. Down in the comment section, go down, let me know. Should the Texans get rid of Christian Kirksey? I would say no. Obviously, they mentioned the cap savings there, but that cap savings not super appealing to me because the Texans already have a lot in cap space. So I would say keep Christian Kirksey for now at least. Let's talk about Kenyon Green now, the Texans' first-round pick last year, who started the year at left guard. Obviously, kind of a disappointing rookie season for him. I think that concussion he suffered before the season obviously hurt him a little bit. And we did learn a few weeks ago that he underwent a knee procedure in March. So he has been rehabbing. He's been working his way back this offseason. Again, the 15th overall pick in the 2022 draft out of Texas A&M. Like I mentioned, a disappointing rookie season, 823 snaps, all at left guard. Had a 37.7 PFF grade. That was one of the worst amongst all tackles in the National Football League. Meanwhile, C.J. Stroud going to be making his NFL debut this season for the Houston Texans. So be sure to go pick up his jersey at chatsports.com/Stroud. We do know now that he is going to be the number 7. So no more concerns about having to pre-order this thing. You get on your doorstep in just a few days at chatsports.com/Stroud. That link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Go and get your C.J. Stroud jersey. Here's what D'Amico Ryan said about Kenyon Green. He's doing well. He is getting stronger day by day, so we are encouraged with where Kenyon is at right now. Again, he's going to be your starting left guard. You got Laramie Tunsil, Kenyon Green, Juice Scruggs, Shaq Mason, and Titus Howard as your starters along this Texans offensive line. The center position, still somewhat of a question mark. Jarrett Patterson, that 6th-round pick, maybe he'll compete with Scruggs. I expect Scruggs, though, to be the starter. But Kenyon Green is arguably the most unproven guy at his position. Sure, you could say Juice Scruggs because he's a rookie, but Kenyon Green did have a disappointing rookie season, at least in terms of the PFF grades. But I think Kenyon Green has a bounce-back year. The fact that he's going to have a full off-season here with the Texans, the fact that he's going to have a chance to get healthy after the knee procedure that he underwent in March is going to be his second season in the National Football League. I expect him to make a big jump and play a lot better than he did last season. Was his rookie season disappointing? Yes, but we know the talent's there. We know the potential is there. I think Kenyon Green is going to have a far improved 2023 season. Show some love to Kenyon Green, type 59, down in the comment section for number 59. A lot of y'all have been fans of this guy for a long time because he played at Texas A&M. Just went about an hour and a half south to play for the Texans. So type 59 for Kenyon Green, down in the comment section. We've talked about Jadeveon Clowney, the possibility of bringing back the former Houston Texan. He continues to be linked to Houston, most recently by Bleacher Report. Here is what they said about Clowney, calling the Texans one of the two best fits for the free agent. Clowney has mentioned that he'd be interested in a return to the Houston Texans, the team that drafted him first overall in 2014. It would be nice, Clowney said in an interview with KRIV-TV. All my family is here. The Texans aren't ready to compete right away, but after ranking 30th in total defense last season, they shouldn't rule out Clowney if the 30-year-old is willing to commit long-term. And I agree, the Texans should not rule this out. We heard D'Amico say at OTAs last week that they're not going to rule anybody out. Taking a look at the defensive line depth chart, Malik Collins, Sheldon Rankins, Will Anderson. This room has certainly gotten better this offseason. You draft Dylan Horton. You still got Jerry Hughes, who led the team in sacks last year. But I still think this room can get a lot better. Jadeveon Clowney obviously spent 5 seasons in Houston, the number 1 overall pick in 2014. He was traded from the Texans to the Seahawks in 2019. Didn't end super great, but that was because of Bill O'Brien. Clowney does not have any bad blood with anybody currently in the organization, and he did confirm in that interview with Mark Berman last week that he talked, his agent at least, talked to the Texans this offseason. Will the Texans sign Jadeveon Clowney? Type S for sign or type P for pass down in the comments section. What will the Texans do? Personally, I would do it for the right price. I am not willing, and I get it, you have cap space, but I am not willing to overpay for Jadeveon Clowney. He's no longer in his prime. The numbers took a big dip in Cleveland this past season. There was some drama with him, with the comments he made about Myles Garrett and the stat padding. I would do it for the right price. If he's willing to take somewhat of a vet discount to come back to Houston, I would do it. Otherwise, I'm not willing to overpay to bring Clowney back, but I'm certainly intrigued by this idea, bringing Clowney back to Houston. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/TexansTV for more Houston Texans news and rumors.